Hi there, Simply Shauna here. And if you clicked on this video, you're probably wanting to know more about trademarks and copyrights. In this video, we're going to cover the difference between a trademark and a copyright. And then we're going to go into how to use a tool. I use uspto.gov, it's a website, to make sure that you can check to see if you're using a phrase that is trademarked. You don't want to use them on the product that you're creating, and you also don't want to use a trademarked phrase in your SEO. That's your search engine optimization, the words you're using in your tags and your title. And then stick around to the end because we'll go over some trademarked phrases you might be surprised are trademarked. And if you're using them in your shop, you'll want to go in and take those products out of your shop or change your SEO if it's just in the title or the tags. And stick around to the very end for a tip from Tucker. First, we're going to go over the difference between a trademark and a copyright. A trademark is a symbol, a word or phrase, or design that's legally registered or established by use as representing a company or product. A copyright is an original work of authorship, such as a song lyric, sculpture, artwork, or movie, like a phrase from a movie. And these phrases or these types of works are automatically protected. Like fictional places that were made up by a show or a movie, that would be their original work. So that'd be copyrighted. Okay, let's see a couple of examples just to get a more clear picture of the difference between a trademark and copyright. And then I'll jump in and show you how to check for trademarks. So a trademark is something like a logo, like I see a lot, some that I see infringing a lot on Etsy would be like the Nike logo. And they'll have the check mark with another phrase, but that would you'd still be in danger of using that. The Starbucks logo as well, I see that a lot, where the Starbucks logo maybe has a funny phrase that's added to it or personalization that's added to it. This would be something that I'd be afraid of doing. And just to be clear, I am not a lawyer. I do not know everything there is to know about this topic by any means, but I am sharing with you how I have learned to best protect myself and the process that I'm using to do that. And I would err on the side of caution because you do not want to be in a position where you're endangering your Etsy shop. Your Etsy shop has so much potential. It has so much earning potential. And there's so much money to be made in the safe places that there's just no need to endanger your shop like that. And if you've been watching the other videos on this channel, you know that I made the mistake of making Jeep Girl things when I first got started. And Jeep came in and the lawyers come in, they do a scan of who is infringing on their client's behalf, and they alert Etsy to the listings that they're finding. Jeep originally came in and got me for 5 listings. I went in, deleted those 5 listings, but deleted all of the other listings before they had a chance to come get me again. So if you found yourself in a situation where you were maybe doing something you didn't realize you weren't supposed to do, go into your shop and make sure you safeguard it. Now, you don't want the same company coming in to get you again. And then furthermore, I actually tried to keep some of my Jeep stuff in that didn't say the word Jeep on it at all. And I had the headlights though on it, like 2 circles with some little lines to show, a funny phrase that, and then showed, I just 2 circles and some lines between it to show the look of the headlights. I got gotten again by Jeep because the headlights, that's trademarked. That's a trademark symbol on Jeep also. So if you can take that, roll with it, learn from it, and don't make the same mistake. Back to our graphic over here with some other examples. A copyright, on the other hand, you can't really go into a database and look to see what's copyrighted. But what we do know is that we can't use popular lines from books. Those lines belong to the author. Popular lines from song lyrics, or you can't take photographs that someone else has photographed and just use them and put them on a shirt. Those are protected. Sculptures, lines from movies. So you just want to stay away from those kinds of things. In just a second, we're going to jump on the computer and I'll walk you through the easiest way to check to make sure you're not using a phrase in your SEO or on the product itself that is trademarked. Before we do that real quick, if you wouldn't mind smashing the like button if you are finding value from this video, that would help my little YouTube channel so much. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, let's jump on the computer and then stick around afterwards and we'll play a little game of Is That Trademarked? And I'll go over some maybe phrases that you would find surprising that are trademarks. The first thing we want to do is head on over to www.uspto.gov. That's going to bring us here, and we want to click that tab right there that says Trademarks. It's the second one in. And now, right toward the middle of the page, we're going to click on Search Trademarks. And now we want to click Trademark Electronic Search. Which brings us here, and we're going to want to click on Basic Word Mark Search, New User. Click Live. Okay, the first one we're going to check is going to be boy mom. So I'm just typing it up there in the search bar. I made sure live is checked. And I'm going to click return while my cursor's up there in the search bar, and I'll get the results. Here we're on a page of results, and we see boy mom 3 times here. So I'm going to just click through each one of them. Since I want to put it on a shirt, I want to make sure I'm allowed to do that. And I see here, this is for beer glasses, mugs, candle jar, ceramic. This has to do with candles. As I'm looking through all of the terms here, mugs, jars, I don't see anything about shirts or clothing apparel. So we're good to go here. We wouldn't want to go put it on probably a candle, but we're good with shirts. Here we've got another one, and I see jewelry, pendants, watches, cufflinks. So we're all right there. And then there's a second section here. We want to go check that out. Paper and printed matter, photographs, stationery. I see plastic bags for packaging, paper sacks. So we would not want to use it on those items, but we're still okay for shirts. Now there was one more we want to check. We're going to click on that one. And here we see clothing right off the bat. That's enough. I don't even need to look further. But if we do look further, we see shirts and t-shirts and all of that, tank tops. So if I see any clothing items, really, I'm not interested in using that. I'd prefer to stay away from it. And it doesn't matter to me whether there is a space between boy and mom or not. That's, I've not talked to any trademark lawyers. And so I think that that's going to be dangerous, where I'm not going to use any of that. In a nutshell, what we're looking for when we open up the results is it live? We want to make sure it's live. And under goods and services up there toward the top, what kinds of items are we not allowed to put it on? What is that phrase trademarked for? So in my example, I'm looking to see if there's words like clothing or clothing apparel or shirt or t-shirt or tank top, sweatshirt. If I see any of those items, I'm not going to put it on any tops. Now we can play around of Is That Trademarked? And while we're playing that, do you remember being in school and having to do math homework and the teacher would give you some examples in class and then you'd go home and try to do the homework and the practice problems didn't look anything like the examples and it was so annoying? Okay, so during this little round of Is That Trademarked, I'll try to show you some other examples of what might happen when you're looking up something on USPTO so that later you're not like, Shauna didn't show me an example like this. What if this is what I'm looking at? Here we go. First up in our game is lucky. Just the word lucky. All right, so what do you think? Let's go find out. We're going to go ahead and type lucky up here in the search bar and get our results. Now, sometimes when you search for something, you get massive amounts of results. 2,183 results. And yes, we really just have to sift through this and pick out the ones that just say lucky and check them out. Now, usually when I see something like this, I do not even bother to use it. It's not worth my time and energy. So I'm going to scan through this one. It doesn't say anything about shirts on this first one. So now I'm going to have to go and check some others. I'm going to fast forward through this work a little bit until I get to something interesting. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to click Next List. All right, I'm going to fast forward a little bit and show you something interesting. So this one's a little different. At the top here you see a dog and the word lucky under it. And if we look down toward the bottom, the description of the mark, it describes the picture that we're seeing up there. And so it's really, this mark is really this design that is trademarked. And here we see that this is trademarked, but it's for entertainment. There didn't say anything about clothing there. So on we keep looking. And finally here, we are in 2,100 something of the search results. And we're gonna click on this one, and we see this one does have shirt. That means we cannot do the word lucky on a shirt, which surprised me at first. Of course, for St. Patrick's Day, you probably wanna do a shirt that says lucky on it. However, it looks like from down here, it is the Lucky brand jeans that owns this trademark. So it best not to do anything with that word on it. I'm personally comfortable putting lucky with other words, other phrases, within a phrase, or like lucky mama. You would need to also double check just to make sure lucky mama isn't actually trademarked. But as long as there's another word there, I'm comfortable. Again, I'm not a trademark lawyer, but this is how I have understood it so far. Now we know lucky is a no-no. We're not going to be using that one. Let's check out Meowie Christmas. This time, I'm going to purposely forget to click live. So it automatically wants to do live and dead trademarks. So I put Meowie Christmas in, and we're going to leave it on live and dead and see our search results. So you'll see I have two popping up here, but they are both dead. So let's click this one open first. And down here, we can see that it's dead, and we could see that it was active recently. It just got canceled on November 11th. I think it's worth mentioning here that things can change very quickly. You can either have a trademark that gets canceled and it's no longer active, or someone files for a trademark and suddenly something that wasn't trademarked is. And when that happens, we're still responsible for that item in our shop that we listed even before it got trademarked. So one tip to try to safeguard yourself in this is to maybe not use in your SEO, your search engine optimization terms and your title and your tags, specific phrases like Meowie Christmas. Instead, you might use things like funny cat lover Christmas shirt or Christmas shirt for cat lovers, and stay away from those terms that might get trademarked. This will buy you a little extra time to discover it and change it in your shop, take it down, and makes it a little harder for someone to find you with it. So we know Meowie Christmas is safe, at least for now. All right, what do you guys think about coffee gives me teacher powers? I'm not actually going to look these up for you because I've shown you, I think, most of the examples you'll see when you go to do this yourself. So we'll just have a fun round. I'll give you a second to think about it. And coffee gives me teacher powers is safe. You can make a shirt that says that. And I still wouldn't use it in my SEO though, because what if it does get trademarked? All right, next, mommy and me. Do you think that that is trademarked? Mommy and me. It is. It is trademarked. I actually had it in quite a few of my listings. Luckily, you can bulk edit on Etsy. If you want me to do a video on that, let me know. You can drop me a comment to let me know you need me to do that. And I was doing it the long way at first and then kind of figured out a faster way to do it, to bulk edit. And I had it in a whole bunch of my listings. Once I became aware that that phrase was trademarked, I took it out. And I replaced it with terms that got the same message across. All right, next up, wifey. Do you think wifey is trademarked? Is it in your store? The answer is, it is. Wifey is indeed trademarked. And last but not least, bride to be. Do you think bride-to-be is trademarked? It is! Bride-to-be is trademarked. This is another one that I had in my store that I had to take out. Now let's loop back to Lucky real fast. I gathered these beautiful images from a tool that I use. It's called Fabrica, and I have a link to them down in the description below. I use them a lot, and this is a common misconception that I know I first had when I started using them, and that I have helped my friends and family through that have started Etsy shops. They have licenses for you. You can use images from their site that have commercial licenses, that have POD licenses. So I always use their images that have POD license. That means that you are free to use them for print on demand. You're safe to use them. However, you still have to check. So notice these are the words lucky. Keep in mind that you can use the word lucky on something that it's not trademarked for. So let's say we looked through all those search results and we saw that we are allowed to use it on tote bags. I didn't check for that specifically, but if you wanted to use it on tote bags, go back and check. You might be able to use these images on that. You still need to do the check though to make sure you can use it on the item you want to. We know that we can't use this on shirts. So I just wanted to mention that. If you haven't checked out Fabrica yet, again, I have a link down below in the description. They are awesome. I use them a lot. Beautiful artwork, but you still do need to check. Even if you're using the images that are safe for POD use, you still have to make sure that phrase isn't trademarked. Two quick things. One, I came across this graphic while I was doing some of the research for putting this video together, and I thought it was funny, and Tucker thought it was funny too. And the story is that a company was trying to trademark dog with that symbol, and Adidas, challenged that and said, no, customers might get confused about that trademark, and customers might think that they're associated with Adidas. That company was not awarded the trademark. They were not able to file for that. Another tidbit, there's a lot of Disney stuff on Etsy. And I know in different circles that I'm in, this conversation comes up with, well, why are these people doing Disney, and how dangerous can it be if all these people are getting away with it? They get away with it until they don't get away with it. So to the point where teachers say hocus pocus, and then the kids say, everybody focus. And then all the kids are quiet and they look at you and you have their attention. So I had made shirts that said hocus pocus, everybody focus. And wasn't thinking about the Disney movie at all. But when it came to my attention, I just saw it with fresh eyes one day. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, hocus pocus is a Disney movie. I took that shirt out of my shop. I didn't want anything to do with an infringement with Disney. So just kind of have that in mind when you're making decisions about things that you're putting in your shop. Just because other people are doing it doesn't mean that it's safe. And if you listen to Starla Moore, another YouTuber that is very knowledgeable, she did a whole video about an Etsy shop that was selling Disney things, and Disney is suing them. So it's a big deal, and it's worth, making sure that you're doing things that are safe and that you are building a business that you can enjoy and make money from for a long time. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. And before I let Tucker take it away, I just want to say thank you so much for watching and tuning in. And I am wishing you so much success. I hope you are so inspired and so on fire to make changes in your life in this direction. And Tucker, take it away.